So she called up there and had Jessica all upset. You know, Jessica's almost 9 years younger than me.
Okay.
Elizabeth's 13 years under me today. Anyway, so I called my best friend, Jimmy Bates. Him and his woman and his son come up there. And Diane and Ezekiel, they stayed there at the house with my kids. And he went with me, and we went down there. And first dude's bugging out. He thinks we're going to beat him up. I said, I'm not going to beat you up, man. I don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, that bitch ought to change her fucking name to Doorknob. Everybody's had it turned. I said, now I want you to explain to me why your motherfucking wife is calling my girlfriend telling all this bullshit. So I said, if I've got all these diseases, y'all got it too. Well, he was a redheaded guy, and he got pissed, not at me, but pissed at the situation. He turned red like a thermometer. It was hilarious. You could just watch him turn red. That's one thing she did. There wasn't no fucking point in that. There was no point in that at all.
Right. Well,
I mean,
so she gets you so angry, but eventually you take her back, right?
take who back? Oh, Marty?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she seen me shoot a motherfucker. She seen me shoot a motherfucker, and I knew how she was.
So you were thinking that
First time she got pissed, she'd have been right up her grand jury telling on me.
Right.
And well, I was only in jail overnight for that shooting, but yeah, that was more of like a, I don't know what you call it, politically motivated marriage. I don't know what you'd call that.
Right. Well, so let me talk about the post-offense behavior. So after you kill Marty, immediately after you're done, your hands go off of her neck. What do you do?
Yeah.
And what are you thinking?
Thinking now I gotta get rid of it. Dead people are, this is bad to say, you might hang up on me, but dead people are more of an object to me. They're not really like a person.
Okay.
I know it's fucked up, but I'm just being honest with you.
No, explain that. I'm interested in knowing.
Just like, like trash, you gotta get rid of. You gotta do something with them. I should have burnt her. I've burned a lot of bodies. I know how to burn a body all the way up. I know 2 ways to burn a body all the way up. But the dude, the new house dude that's all in the newspaper and all that,
Okay.
you know, they gave me immunity in 2021, and I gave up the details and told them where they could find enough evidence to confirm that he was dead, and told them how he died and all that. So, it's not really publicized, but I knew him since he was a teenager. He used to be my mother's next door neighbor's youngest daughter's boyfriend. And he just got to doing too fucking much. And I caught him in my shop again. I'd been fired him, run him off, caught him in my shop again, and I beat his fucking brains out. Well, then, my guy's there with me. The guy runs my shop on him out of town or whatever. He's dead now, too. He died 2-3 years after I came to prison of an accidental overdose. His name was Sean Deerdoff. He was a black belt. a real 4-star black belt. A little short, polite, hold the door for you, soft-spoken, mean motherfucker. Anyway, a fight broke out between him and Shane. I'm trying to break it up. And I ended up beating both of them up. I helped Sean up, and Shane was dead. He hit his head on you know what a cherry picker is? Like you take an engine out of a car with.
Yep, I put an engine in a Trans Am one time, so I know exactly what you mean.
He hit his head on that, and I'm assuming it broke his neck. But I put him in a barrel, filled it full of jet fuel. maybe about 4 or 5 days of burning.
And
Everything will burn up. It makes big, round, fluffy ashes, big as your hand.
and we're talking about this guy named Shane Newhouse that no one's ever been arrested for. Yeah, no one's ever been arrested. I'm just looking now, and it says he's just listed as a missing person.
Yeah, but it's settled. The case is settled. I did a deposition. His mother reached out to my Elizabeth on social media. And she said, give her a number. So she called her and she said, look, I know Michael forever. I feel like Michael's been through enough. Pretty much in so many pretty words, she said she knew her son was a piece of shit. But she wanted to know if he was really dead. So I did a deal with the help of the old investigator here, Nicholas Neff, I gave up the details of his murder. Highland County gave me immunity, and I told them what they needed to know. But that's not public, that was never in the paper or anything like that. But I'll tell you who you can call about it if you want. The Highland County detective, I think what her name is, she got married. Well, the man was a man and a woman detective. The man's name's Antinor. Detective Antinor. Antinore.
Okay.
And I would assume he still works there. And the girl's name was Bentley. Estes. Detective Estes, that's her name. Estes. But
did you give them? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did they give you? Did you give them a location to where they could find the remains? Even though I know the way you burned it, there isn't going to be hardly anything left, but maybe the barrel still.
Well, the barrel wasn't there, but I told them to go in the front lobby of my shop, my old shop, and pry the baseboard off the counter. Because when that shit happened, there was blood all over the front of that counter. And I told them to pry the baseboard off of there. And I told them to look a couple other places. And they found some blood they could identify. They found some hair with some follicles or whatever where they could get DNA.
Right.
And I think they found a little bitty piece of the skull about big as your pinky nail, maybe. But I'm not even sure about that. But the prosecutor, what the hell's her name? Annika Collins? I don't know. The lady that was the prosecutor there.
Okay.
Gave me immunity in writing. They faxed it up here. But they took time off of my girls. She was going to get 31 years in federal prison. I got it down to 10 for her. Well, feds are a pain in the ass to deal with. Mm-hmm.
What did you do with his remains? I mean, I know you said you burned it, but where and tell me about that.
Oh, behind my shop. I put him in that barrel, and then I took doubled him up like a pocket knife. Put him in that barrel, and took it out back. My shop had 2 garage doors in the front and 1 in the back. Took him out there with a 2-wheeler, and there was a big shed out back, pretty nice shed, made out of hemlock with a cement floor. Hemlock's that wood that you don't have to put anything on. It just gets harder and harder and turns black. A lot of people down in Kentucky build shit out of it.
Okay.
Put him in there, put the jet fuel in there, and I think I put 5 gallons of gasoline in there with it. Let it soak till the weekend. Took it out of there, just outside. And I lit it, and as it burnt down, I had a big pile of brush back there. As it burnt down, I started putting brush in there on top of it in case anybody stopped, or whatever. And burn him up. It took about 36 hours to burn him up. It don't take. There's there's another way you can burn bodies. You can put a like braise a pipe in a barrel in the bottom and run that compressed air through it, like 35 or 40 psi, and they'll burn quicker.
I got to ask you this question, Michael, is because you seem like you're pretty experienced here. You've been convicted of 2 murders. Do you have, how many people did you kill?
Well, I only ever killed 2 women, and that's probably what got me in trouble there. I couldn't chop them up. I couldn't make myself chop them up or whatever. But I probably killed at least 40 men. A lot of them was, professional hit style shit.
Did you say 40?
Yeah, at least probably.
Damn. Are they any of them listed as missing people, or are they just part of the gang, the biker underworld?
Well, probably both, but a lot of the people was the Iron Horseman owned. When I was out there active, we owned 4 bars. Well, 3 kiddie bars in Covington, Kentucky: the Pad, Rodney's Show Place, and Hart's Lounge. And then we had a bar down there where Finley Market is, called Younger Brothers Cafe, and it was there since 1800s. It's one of them deep, skinny buildings. And if I tear a hole in my wall, I can see over into your shop or your store. It was one of them kind of deals.
Right.
They had 7 apartments above it. So I had an apartment above it. I had a girlfriend lived there, and my old lady lived in my house out there in the country. So different ones of us took turns around the bar. Well, when the beer man comes, you got your empty bottles out there, and he can look at the empty bottles, and he tells you how much money you got to give him, and you give him cash. He don't take checks, he don't take IOUs or none of that. So you pay him, and then he goes in there, brings the beer in, takes all the cold beer out, puts the hot beer in the cooler behind the cold beer, puts the cold beer back, cleans the coolers off, mops the floor, and if he's got time, he might sit and make a cup of coffee with you. So I'm out front there smoking a joint. It's like, 5:30 in the morning. And I hear this old man yelling, no. It's hard to see because there's like steam coming out of the sewer vent things or whatever. Well, they got this old man up there, these 2 drunks, and they're trying to pull him out of his Cadillac. So I pulled my 38 out of my back pocket, busted a cap in there. I said, "Not today, motherfuckers," and they took off running. So I go down, it's this old man, he's like fucking 80 years old. Get him in the car. I tell him, lock your doors and go home. He was one of the guys that owned Finley Market, and he fell asleep and was just getting up and going home. Probably had some wine, you know what I mean? Whatever. Fell asleep. So he goes on. So the next day, I'm in my apartment. Just got a shower, and Jessica's in the shower. This is a different Jessica. And Johnny Coldos comes up here. He's like, "Them Italians want to talk to you. They're mad. I don't know what you did." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, motherfucker. I got dressed and went over there." I took Sam with me, just in case. And they're fucking hugging me and kissing me on the jaw and trying to give me a job and all this shit. But when I went in there, I threw the bank bag on the desk because it's in the back of Finley Market. Customers don't go. I threw the bank bag on the desk because after he drove off, there was this blue bank bag in the street. It would have been underneath the car before the car moved. So we got to be friends, and they like to farm little jobs out to me here and there. I went to Cleveland and done shit. There used to be a bar in Cleveland you could go to, and if they knew who you was, give you an envelope with $10,000 in it and some pictures and where to look. And when you got done, you went back and they give you $10,000 more. That was many years ago. Kids ain't that cheap no more.
Do you know the?
I almost say they're probably.
Do you know the name of any of these 40 people that can be confirmed?
No, I can't really do that without. gonna give you one name. See if you stick the cops on me.
I ain't sicking anybody on you.
Weasel Erskine.
Okay, who's that?
Some guy that made some enemies.
Okay.
In the world, like, obviously you're not in my life, and I'm not accusing you of being this, just for sake of explanation. If I come to get $60,000 worth of marijuana off you, if I give you $30,000, then that's acceptable. But I better bring you the other $30,000 within 30 days.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Understood.
At least if you got half the money, you can get whatever.
Right.
And I don't know, man. And then some people I just got into, I mean, I can sing pretty good. I can curse the blues up. I made a lot of enemies. I got a lot of enemies. And here, those motherfuckers here don't know me hate my guts. Because I'm constantly getting visits. You know what I mean? On store day, my whole bed's covered with commissary. If I want something, all I got to do is call home and get it. I got 5 women to take care of me.
Yeah. Well, it's a good problem to have, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the oldest one's 75 years old, and I call her mom. She's the one handling my money. But Elizabeth's in prison, and in the last year, she's probably sent me $1,000 from prison. I mean, she had her daughter. She said, had them they sent to our daughter and had her daughter send it to me.
Right.
Jayla's in wherever it is out there in Nevada where you can step your foot and be in one spot and be in 4 states, or you hit to that.
Right.
I'm really not. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know, never been there.
Same.
I'll tell you the craziest thing I've ever been to is the Burning Man Festival.
I've heard
women everywhere, bud.
I've heard about it, but I've never been there.
It used to be, I don't know. This is my 21st year of being locked up, so maybe different now.
What about the second girl that you were convicted of murdering? Was it Cindy Pickens in 2003?
That bitch was renting a house off me, and she was paying my mother to babysit. In this one particular incident, she borrowed $20 off my mom for gas, went to Dayton for the day, and took the boy. The little boy was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 something. He was little enough he still didn't, speak real plain in some instances. Little girl was, I don't know, 9 or 10. But she got along well with my mom. My mom, they swam in an in-ground pool and hung out, and I think my mom maybe even took her out to eat, maybe even bought her an outfit or 2 or something. But about Cindy was real late getting back. Like, she didn't get back till like dark out, and she had dropped the child off at like 10 o'clock in the morning, or 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, the little girl got upset. My mom said, "What's the matter?" She said, "Nobody wants me. Nobody likes me." And my mom said, "Well, that's not true. I love you and God loves you. What are you talking about?" She said, "Well, I'm too old. They don't want to take my pictures anymore." Well, this bitch was in a kiddie porn ring. And she didn't deny it. So, I mean, I couldn't, there's no way of taking back the stuff that she done, the damage she caused, but she ain't gonna do it no more, you think?
Yeah, well, tell me about it. Did you confront her?
Yep.
What'd she say?
I punched that bitch as hard as I could, bud, and she shook it off.
Really?
Like a bucket. I mean, I've knocked a bunch of men. I ain't bragging or whatever, but I've still got a pretty good knockout punch when need be. But I mean, I don't like to fight no more than that shit. But we're fighting. This is in a double-wide mobile home and has a little breakfast bar or whatever, and there's a disc drainer on the sink, and there's one of those big old hillbilly butcher knives, and she's looking at it over her shoulder, and I beat her to it. Coroner said it cut the whole bottom of her heart off.
So you punched her.
That bitch was a problem.
You punched her as hard as you could, and she shook it off.
Yeah, I'm at the time 6'2", like 280, 275, 280. And that bitch shook her head and said, "Now you pissed me off." If I had a gun, I'd have shot her. But I didn't have a gun on me. My gun was in my car.
So you just grabbed the weapon that was closest to you, the knife?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it was... If I hadn't told them about the other body, that would have been a manslaughter. They even said that. Because everybody knew that probably was a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
So you stab her, and is that it? Just one time in the heart or whatever, and she's done?
Yeah, I mean, I turned the knife flat, to the floor. Because it was big enough, it would have probably got caught on her ribs.
Okay.
Stuck it in there and pulled it out, and she hit the floor like a sack of shit. She was done. Didn't even bleed. When your heart's not pumping, you don't bleed. You probably know that. You ain't no dummy.
Right.
But yeah, once you're dead, your heart don't pump no blood, you don't bleed. But I'm gonna tell you something. Don't ever kill no fat people. They are a fucking pain in the ass to get rid of. Damn it.
Well, how did you get rid of her?
Well,
and was it that night?
Yeah, I put her in the middle of one of them like $4.99 odd lots tarps, and plastic tarps. And the way the the back of that house was like only one step up to go in the house. The front of the house was like 4 or 5 steps up. So I let the tailgate down on my 4-wheel drive Dakota pickup truck and backed up her and just put her in the back of the truck. Well, I wanted to take her, but my dudes would feed her to the hogs. But my dude was in jail, and I wasn't going to let his old lady know nothing, so I put her in this hole, in this place in the shop that there was no concrete because there was supposed to have been a bathroom in there. Nobody ever did put it in there. And then that was only supposed to be temporarily, and I couldn't get her back out of there. It turned into a fucking mess. You know what I mean? It's sloppy. Too much dope. Too much partying. And that shit gets to be like second nature. You know what I mean? Like putting a water pump on the same kind of car you put on 300 of them.
Right.
But almost do it by rote. You don't even pay no attention. That's the only thing I've ever been in my life besides a crooks and mechanic.
Well, once you got her, how did you get caught?
Well, here's what happened. The guy that I took Elizabeth away from, I knocked him through the screen door of her house. She said, throw him out. And I knocked him through the screen door, and she said, "You ass, I would have held the door for you." She started laughing. But anyway, his name was James Lycoming Jr., so he got caught. Fucked up out of his mind on Oxycontin and Xanax so high he couldn't talk, sitting slobbering with his front of his car up against the vending machines out there at Rocky Fork Lake. Foot on the brake, car still in gear, running. They get him, they take him to jail. They got all these pills and shit, and they take him in the interview room, lay all these pills and shit out. Tell him he's going to prison for 100 years. He's a little fucking pretty boy wimp motherfucker, and they're telling him about how the guy's just going to make him their girlfriend and all that shit. And he did a statement. See, at the time, they were looking for Shane Newhouse's body. Well, then he told them that he knew for sure that I killed Shane Newhouse and that his body was out there at that shop. So, that's what they told him to say. They told him what the fuck to say. You see what I mean?
Right, I know how it goes.
Right, and then they took that and got a search warrant. Well, they went there and they didn't find Newhouse's body, but they found another body, and then they got warrants for every fucking thing I owned. my house out there, they took the fucking septic tank out of the ground and hauled it away on a lowboy. And I know who told them that. This bitch named Shelly Gabbard used to be a parts technician at the Chevy dealer there. You know what I mean? She you know, like dope, never had no money, so you know how she paid for it. But she told them, one time I come back from cooking a batch of dope, and I threw my black duffel bag down, and I went in my master bath, took a shower, and J.D. Hart was in the other shower, the other in the house. Come out, we put our clothes, or we had them, believe it or not, chemical warfare fucking fatigues, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Put them in the washer and work, because when you make that meth, you know how they say a tomcat marks its spot or whatever, that smell?
Yep.
That anhydrous smells like that and it gets on your clothes. So we put our shit in the washer, turn it on. So, Shelly Gabbard there, she was sitting there when we got there. I never locked my house. I never had to lock my house, ever. I go to New York City and lock my house. But anyway, she said, what's in the bag? I said, my killing a nosy bitch and putting her in the septic tank kit. So, she at some point gave me a statement saying that, and then she was on the news saying a bunch of shit that I was going to kill her, and I didn't get fucking want to kill her. I get two fucking shits about her. She sucked the main dick. That's about all I cared about her.
What did you never tell anybody that you killed those two women? It wasn't from you running your mouth, right?
No. Like I said, they was saying that she was missing in the newspaper, but he gave a statement that Newhouse was out there. Well, they took cadaver dogs out there and found Cindy.
Gotcha.
And then they went everywhere, and then when I told them I did it because they would have locked everybody up. And my daughter and my mom, they couldn't have made it financially without my dad's check. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Told me I killed the bitch. I mean, sometimes I just got to where I just couldn't tell one more lie. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you?
sure. Well, I would like to hear more about your story. If we could do something maybe tomorrow or the next day, is that all right?
Yeah, let me think. Tomorrow is what, Friday?
Thursday, isn't it? Maybe it is Friday. I don't know. Whenever, just message me and let me know whenever you're available, and we'll continue on this. You're a fascinating person, and I think I can learn from you, and I want to do that. So, if we can do it again, hit me up, and we'll schedule another date.
Absolutely. I think it is Wednesday. I think you're right.
Okay. Well,
I'm in prison.
Right.
But I'm like I'm in a long-term medical care, so I don't. One day just like the next.
I hear you.
So how does this podcast stuff work? Do you have somebody on there more than once, or do you only have them on there one time, or how does that work?
Usually it's just me, and I'm just talking about cases. I usually don't have guests. Now, I was talking to a death row prisoner out in San Quentin. He was the first guy that I ever really interviewed for this, and we did multiple episodes.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So I could see us doing multiple episodes as well, but let me send you a message and we can talk more about it then.
Okay.
All right.
Time tomorrow?
I gotta check my schedule, so let me send you a message and I'll let you know.
All right, brother. Good talking to you.
You too, Mike. Thanks. Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for using.
So I always get the question, how do you become a cold case detective? Ken Mains, how did you become a cold case detective? Well, I had that in mind a long time ago, over 10 years ago. And I got the answer right here. Mastering Cold Case Investigations, a guidebook for detectives. I wrote this 550-page behemoth for that purpose. Because when I was in high school, when I was in college, and then when I became a detective, I wanted to know more about cold cases, why they go cold, why are they unsolved? Is it evidence? Is it lack of determination? Is it perseverance? Is it politics? All the above. Well, I set the answer to all those questions in my new book. It's been 10 years of research, writing, jotting down things. I knew that I was going to write this book eventually. And it finally has come to a head where I'm able to actually get it done, get it published by Unsolved No More Publishing, and get it out to you. So who's this book for? It's for detectives. It's for amateur detectives. It's for college students, academia, forensics. The topics I cover in this book, from what is a cold case, victimology, research, crime scene location, criminal profiling, conflict, greed, sex and revenge, possibilities versus probabilities. That is huge in this book. I go through that a lot because that's the basis and foundation of my methodology. Evidence, sketches. Of course, you have affirmations. Why should you listen? Social media, the rule of psychology, equivocal deaths, modus operandi, signature. Legal and ethical considerations in cold cases, integrity, involving as a cold case detective, serial killers, missing persons, domestic violence, exposing myths, premeditation versus spontaneous, confidential informants, wrongly convicted, clandestine graves, you name it. I cover it in here. 550-page hardcover textbook. And along with all those topics, I also wanted to do case studies, especially case studies on confessions. Why? Because you can learn so much from confessions. At the end of the book, I go in great detail about killers in general who have confessed, why they did it, and what we can learn. That's always the most important thing, what we can learn from them and move forward and apply what we learned on that case to a future case. So I have all that. I tried to incorporate as much as I could, and there's a lot in there about real life cases that I have worked on and I have either solved or learned something from. And I'll tie that to a specific chapter, along with tips, certain things that I think you should look for in certain areas. It's a great book to learn from, but it's not just for active law enforcement members, private investigators, defense attorneys. Everybody can learn from this book. And that is what is motivated me to write this. Is I want people to learn. I am tired of seeing wrongfully convicted people. I'm tired of the politics of district attorneys' offices and state police and local jurisdictions who either don't have the resources to do it or they just pass it off because they don't know how, they don't want to, they don't have the desire, the determination. And all that does is affect the victims and the victims' families. And I see it time and time again. You will see endorsements and affirmations from victims' family members in here who I've worked with in the past because they are the most important people. To pass off what I have learned to you. So you can be a great investigator, you can be a great detective, and you can solve cases just like I do. Get your copy now. I'll sign it. I'll get it out to you and start learning. That way we can start solving cold cases together.